Hey, 42 here. The ancient Egyptians used to rub dead mouse paste on their teeth to ease toothaches. And in Elizabethan England, a popular remedy for warts was to cut a mouse in half and apply it to the offending spot. In the Middle Ages, some doctors believed that like cures like. So when the Black Death hit, which was believed to be caused by deadly vapours, they were convinced that the cure was to fart in a jar. The doctors urged people to store farts in a jar and keep them in their homes, and when the plague appeared in their neighbourhood, they were to take a whiff of the jar's contents. Highly popular in medieval Europe, uroscopy was the practice of diagnosing a patient by examining their urine. Doctors would observe the patient's urine smell and consistency and even taste it. On a similar note, at number 4 is urine therapy. Some people throughout history believe that drinking and even bathing in urine is the key to good health and can cure various ailments. However, unlike most of the treatments in this video that have since died out, urine therapy is still widely used today, despite there being absolutely zero evidence that it can cure anything. Hitler was a hypochondriac, so his doctors injected his buttocks with all kinds of substances, one of which was crystal meth. Witnesses claimed the meth-addled Hitler stayed alert and active throughout the day. Albert Speer, a member of the Third Reich, considered Hitler's meth addiction as one of the reasons for Hitler's rigid tactics in the later stages of the war, such as not allowing troops to retreat even under the most dire circumstances. In the 18th and 19th centuries, to cure a patient's stutter, doctors would cut off half of the stutterer's tongue. The practice is known as Glossotomy, and it is still used today, but as a treatment for oral cancer. It's now done under general anaesthesia, but back in the day it would have been an extremely painful procedure to undergo. And unsurprisingly, it didn't work. A lot of patients simply bled to death. Today, arsenic is commonly known as a poison, but for centuries it has been used as a medicine. It is best known for being the key ingredient in a supposed cure for malaria and syphilis called Fowler's solution that was widely used throughout the late 18th century up until the 1950s. Victorian women also used arsenic as a cosmetic. In the 19th century, mothers got increasingly tired of disobedient children keeping them up all night. So, to aid distressed parents, a series of soothing syrups were invented and marketed to mothers. The syrup solution sure worked in keeping children quiet. The only problem was it worked a little too well. Unbeknown to mothers, the syrups usually contained a concoction of chloroform, codeine, cannabis, and heroin, as well as many other nasty substances. In many cases, the children died from taking the syrups. However, it wasn't until 1910 when the New York Times published what the syrups actually contain that their usage declined. In the 1940s, if you were mentally ill, depressed, or just didn't fit into normal society for any reason, there was one answer: lobotomy. The inventor of lobotomy, Edgar Moniz, who created the procedure in 1935, was actually awarded a Nobel Prize for his findings in 1949. Although the reality was considerably less glamorous. A lobotomy operation consisted of rendering the patient unconscious for a short time via a series of electrical shocks to their brain. The nurse or doctor then jabbed an ice pick through the upper eye socket of the patient and pierced it through the skull using a mallet until it hit the brain. The ice pick was then wiggled from side to side in order to sever the connections to the person's prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that's responsible for a person's personality, expression, cognitive behaviour, decision making, and social behaviour. Doctors believed if you remove this section of the brain, patients will be cured of any mental illnesses, anxiety, and depression. Parents even started getting their kids lobotomized to fix their bad behaviour. Something we know today as ADHD. One of the youngest ever lobotomy patients, Dully, was 12 years old. However, lobotomies lost popularity around 1967, when people realised that shoving an ice pick through someone's brain probably isn't a good idea, after one patient died of a brain hemorrhage during the operation. But they are still performed today in extreme cases. But humans have been making holes in each other's skulls for thousands of years. Perhaps one of the oddest practices and the oldest surgical procedure for which we have ever found evidence of is trepanning. Also known as trepanation, it is a strange practice of drilling a hole in one's skull to supposedly treat migraines, seizures and mental illness. There is no medical evidence to back it up, and not surprisingly it often made the symptoms worse. Neolithic skulls have been found with trepanation holes in them dating back as early as 6500 BC. A medical professional would never perform this procedure today. However, some avid supporters of this procedure still trepan their own skulls using stuff such as power tools to this day. Thanks for the view, subscribe for more 42.